We are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mystic Sisters. I'm here with Ona, my mystic sister, Ona.
There
Hi,
you
Ona.
are.
So, it's been a week. It's
Hey
been
guys.
another one of
Yeah.
those weeks.
Yeah, it's been a really good week for I think at the end of the week, even though it was a horrendous thing to visit, um, be validated in what you've known all along was seen by people that just weren't getting it yet. And maybe now they do.
Maybe. I'm not sure that, and of course, we're talking about the White House meeting with Trump and Zelensky and little Lord Fauntleroy. J.D. Vance. Um,
Yeah.
But there was, a lot of the other stuff that happened this week, which I think is really gonna turn more people than anything that can happen around Ukraine. Because I think most people would prefer us not to get involved in other people's wars and different things, even in the way that we do with Ukraine, which, it had to be done, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't really, either side don't like that. But where I think it's really going to come down is with all the loss of the jobs. A lot of the people that lost jobs because of Doge are military veterans. A lot of people who go into the federal, especially things like the FAA, and
Yeah.
because they have pilots and they have people who work on air, on that kind of stuff from the military go into those, and now they're just it's just everything's getting messed up. And I think that that's the thing that's really going to turn people, and we really didn't see that, sort of that those what is that, roosts come home, those hens come home to roost.
Yeah.
There's an expression, I can't remember, um of the week before. So it's happening quick, but it's happening like bang 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 bang, right? From the very beginning, it's just been like flood the field or shit the bed. I'm not sure exactly sure
Yep.
what that is, but yeah.
Yep. It's
So
designed that way.
it's designed to do this to us. So even though it upsets us, we can't dwell. We can't dwell.
No, you can't. That was one of the first things I wrote down when I saw this. It was like, you can get to that point where this is going to make you really mad. And honestly, I've seen enough. It's just repeating. I mute it or fast forward it or whatever I can do when that comes up again. I've seen enough. I saw it once. That's
Right.
pretty much it for me.
Yeah, that was one trauma.
Yeah. Is it like just look at it as like an episode that was just staged?
Right, because it pretty much was.
It
I
was
mean, not on Zelensky's part,
no,
not on Zelensky's part, but on the
no,
administration. I mean, the fact that Trump said it was
right.
going to be good TV tells you exactly what they were doing. And they can mess around like that because Trump's the most powerful man on the planet, and Vance is just like his sidekick. But for Zelensky, can't kid around about that stuff because it's
Right.
life and death for his countrymen.
Well,
And
what they were doing was a strategy to throw him off, kind of throw mental darts at him to bring up topics that are mean nothing about anything while he was gaining momentum in his thoughts and explaining. He got why didn't you say thank you? And it's like, and he was falling into these little traps here and there, but
yeah,
ultimately made some good points. But that is a strategy.
yeah,
That is what they were doing that on purpose. He said, I let it go on for so long. He did it on purpose. Okay. And then this is going to make for great television. Drop it. Okay. You got free tickets to a bad show. All right. And it's over. Like he did it on purpose
right.
and dragged it out on purpose so we can get pissed off. Remember, they're feeding off that anger and fear.
Or we can get pissed off, or Putin can see that his little minion is doing a good job. Plus, I think that I think we talked about this before we got on. Zelensky was in a weird sort of way the reason for the first impeachment.
Yes, he was what launched the first impeachment. It was like a public retaliation for what happened. That they just verbally battered him, but in the worst sophomoric kind of way. It was a movie you could predict at the end.
Yeah.
Like they just made themselves look bad, but we needed to see them look bad. We needed to see them. So
I didn't need to see it because I've all I've been doing is seeing them look bad. I'll be right back.
Just the one time was enough. I'm going to talk to the crowd here. Guess what, Mary? I was thinking about you today. You just moved to Uptown today, girl. That's so cool. I will meet you at the farmer's market this summer.
Uptown girl, she's been living in a white, pretty world.
Mighty Do Things, my favorite. The Green Mill or wherever, for sure. And it's been a crazy kind of week. So I hope that your move went well and that you didn't suffer too much in the 54-mile-an-hour degree winds that we suffered from last night.
Oh my God.
30-degree drop in temperature today. It was 57 yesterday. It's 26 right now. So that wind had something to say. The water was, and I'm like, this is the highest I've ever seen these waves. I think that every single time they're so violent like that, but this was definitely the highest I've ever seen these waves.
So I thought this was cute from, hold on. I was picking a Mystic Sisters card and I went over the thing so I messed up. All right, hold on. Let me see. Well, I can't remember. Somebody said he was what he called by Dumb and Dumber. I know it's terrible. Like the thing is, it's only going to make Zelensky more popular. One of the reasons why his popularity sort of, I think, has waned is because we are not seeing him as much as we did in the beginning.
Undoubtedly, and not that they couldn't think that through. That is exactly what's going to happen. It's just going to strengthen them. It's going to divert the attention off of us. And then when we can say, oh, you know what, we tried and he wouldn't cooperate. They'll just make some bullshit up because they don't want to do this anymore. I don't understand any of this. Well, Pritzker's a Ukrainian Jew, right? In Illinois.
Who's a Ukrainian Jew?
Our governor.
Oh, Pritzker. Is it? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So they're like, it's kind of a little bit of that going on.
That's right. Because in that speech, he talked about opening the Holocaust Museum.
Mm-hmm.
In, I think in Chicago.
It's maybe not. It's downtown.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
Bad dog.
All right. So I had to go. I had to go get my Mystic Sisters cards because we got into it so fast. I forgot. And so I think this is going to be. What was last? Oh, was last week Hecate? No. What was it? Lilith. Eris. It was Eris.
Eris.
That's right. It was Eris. So Eris last week, which would have included what happened on Friday.
Yes.
And of course, all the Republican had all their town halls, and they were getting booed, and they're going no way, and what are you going to do about it? And these were all like Republicans. So it's good. It's good. We're seeing that Eris energy last week, right? Okay, I'm going to pick another one for this week.
Yeah. It was in the town hall. Did you see the clip of the woman that got thrown out of the town hall?
Yes.
I was embarrassed that nobody helped her. I'd have been all over those guys. I would have been proud to go to jail with her. Nobody does nothing. This is kind of a running theme that I see since things changed, like at his first admin, when I noticed like neighbors don't really help each other like they used to. It's not that kind of a neighborhood anymore. Something's, everyone is really to themselves.
Oh, somebody said, was that Eris on the picture of your screen? I don't think so. I think when I googled like Venus and Aries, and I think that picture came up. And that's one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight is Venus stationing. In fact, I think she either just stationed or she's just about to station.
And this is Women's History Month, March 1st.
That's right, March 1st, beginning of Women's History Month.
Venus is retrograde.
And
She's
Venus
about to.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think we're going to see some interesting concepts come up about Venus's
journey.
Venus's journey right now.
Journey into the hell realms. Okay.
It's a good time for Venus to be retrograde.
Well, it should be, yeah, she's in Aries, which is kind of the vibration of the warrior. She is going to retrograde back into Pisces, where she's exalted. And then she'll come back out, and she actually starts a new star, a Venus star point with this. We do have Venus go retrograde, and then later in the month we have Venus conjunct the sun, which is the highlight of the Venus retrograde cycle, and that happens at 3 degrees of Aries. And that starts the new star cycle, which is a Aries Aries Venus star point, and it becomes the morning star. And the morning star is known for being more warlike.
Yeah.
The evening star. So Venus is getting ready for battle. Venus is getting ready for battle.
Yeah. And how long is Venus going to be retrograde for? How
Venus is usually retrograde about 40 days.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the whole 40-day thing. Like he's just going into the desert for 40 days and the Israelites going around for 40 years. That number 40 is a Venus number.
Oh, interesting.
And in the tarot, it's the Page of Cups, the 40.
And that wasn't that? That was today?
What?
Oh, wow, Page of Cups. I'm looking at the.
Today is.
Today's the death card.
Yeah, it's the first. So it's 9-3, which is. Yeah, it's a death card.
Yeah.
Transformation, guys.
Yeah.
Letting go of the old in order to build for the new. That's what the 13-4 is in numerology. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I picked a Mystic Sisters card, and we've gotten this card before. It's called the Magical Key. Magical Key. And I think this is something we all need to really listen to. It says, hope, faith, and gifts. Lost and alone in a deep, dark forest, a poor, bedraggled girl cowers in a state of hopeless despair. The dove above her holds the key in its beak, which symbolizes peace. Turn the page. I only have one hand. Peace and hope. Drawing this card indicates that it is now extraordinarily important to have faith in a benevolent universe. You have become susceptible to fear, depression, hopelessness, worry, and imaginings of worst-case scenarios. You may have found yourself in a difficult place, but the challenge now is to be optimistic, to look up and be aware that help is nearby. Use your imagination for seeking the best-case scenarios to achieve a resolution. Trust that you will again find peace.
Yeah. Don't go to the dark place.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Right.
why bother? Honestly, I mean, again, remember, a lot of the people on this call are already awake.
I know. And that's so you should feel
So a
validated.
lot of this isn't happening for our sake.
Right.
It's happening for the people who are asleep.
Yeah.
For
Not
those
for long.
people. No, they're waking up. The alarm clock is going off. And we're in the middle, we're in eclipse season. We'll be in eclipse season with the next moonshine episode will be an eclipse.
I know. Virgo.
Virgo, yes. And it's square
Great.
what's his name's nodes? Trump's nodes.
Sometimes the nodes mean what in someone's chart when there's a square from a malefic planet.
Well, any square, well, the nodes, of course, for people who may not know what the nodes are, right? The north node is the direction that we're being asked to move in order to evolve. The south node is what we've evolved up to. And the south node is a place that's familiar to people. You kind of feel comfortable there, but if you spend too much time in your south node, it can get suffocating. And then you drive yourself to the north node because you need to seek something out. When things are square, the nodes, it's like you're caught between running away and running to, or you might find yourself going back and forth, right? So a malefic, say like Saturn, would require us to take responsible, what do you want to be responsible for, pretty much. Something like Mars would ask, which direction do you want to go in? But when the nodes are square the nodes, it usually means that the person whose nodes are being squared are at evolutionary crossroads. They
Yeah.
have an opportunity to make a choice, and that choice is going to have fateful consequences. The other thing about this full moon is that it's an eclipse, and Trump is an eclipse baby, and the same kind of eclipse. Well, actually, not exactly the same kind of. Is it a same? Yeah, the same kind of eclipse, actually. So, and also the house guy, what's his name? Johnson.
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson. He also is an eclipse baby, and so that gets when we have an eclipse like that, it activates people's charts who have the eclipse. But it's insignificant that Trump is the one who's getting his. I've seen a lot of opportunities to leave when the nodes do things like that, because it is a crossroad, and we'll see what that means.
I think this is going to be a very significant month. I've noticed that, like personally, I can't sleep more than 3 hours at a time. And I'm up for 2 and I'm down for 1. And then I'm up for the rest of the day, go to bed at like 7 o'clock. I'm up at midnight, like weird sleep patterns. Possibly stress related, but I think that's something to check in on is where are you storing this anger or fear or whatever is sort of kind of bombarding you at this time.
I think distracting yourself is a good ploy. And even not so much like get involved in something that brings you pleasure. Go for a walk in nature, go do some knitting, draw, skip down the road, walk in the rain, whatever can get you out of that place is a good thing. I mean, sometimes it's, having a little glass of wine with dinner, as long as it doesn't become something that you're dependent upon to feel better. Um, you know, But I think doing is better than anything else. Like if you can find yourself doing something that you feel you're making a difference in the world. I think
Yeah.
that helps. And when you're being creative and when you're doing what you love and your heart is open, you're doing something for the world, even if the world never sees it.
Hmm.
Because what we need now is love.
Yeah.
To quote the Beatles, love, love, love.
I know. I know. It's hard because every week there's another curveball thrown in how you were successful in handling last week's curveball. And it's probably an easy time with like the Pisces energy to fall into a pattern that is not should not become consistent.
Divergent Moon is planting her vegetable garden. Oh my God, we can't even
Is
think
it?
about planting anything.
Yeah. Did you start right at the new moon or full moon? I don't know. I know that your underground stuff you should be able to plant right now, like carrots, like seeds that
Yeah,
can still go under the ground.
yeah.
Come here, buddy.
I honestly can't wait until we can start planting again.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's
Um, so what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So we have a Venus, right? We have Venus going retrograde.
yeah. Sort of like re-evaluating your relationship with your resources. Is that
Exactly.
okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Venus is what we love and what we value, what we find of value. And Aries is the self. So in a way, it's about the self. It's about valuing the self or reevaluating yourself.
Yeah.
Then it moves into Pisces, which is much more collective, right? So it's a different energy when it goes into Pisces. And then it turns around in Pisces and comes back out. It's almost like Venus is going through this process of uh, having to cleanse herself in the cosmic sea
Hmm.
and then coming out. So when she comes back out into Aries and going direct, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. We may not see because she's when Venus conjoins the sun, you can't see Venus in the sky anymore, right? She's in the evening sky now. You've probably seen her. She's been very bright, but she's going to get closer and closer to the sun and disappear.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't come back out, and she comes back in the morning before the sunrise. She rises before the sun.
Yeah. That's in after her 40-day retrograde.
Right.
I went upstairs to see if I could see her. It's like, I'm not kidding. The winds were, and the elevator opened and it was like screaming at me. And I'm like, I didn't even get off the elevator.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
nope, nope. I'm not going up there to see if I can see Venus through the clouds were moving so fast.
Yeah.
And
It
I know
was
it was a night for the alignment where if you had the proper lens, you can see Saturn
right.
as well as Jupiter, Venus, Mercury.
It was cloudy here. We actually had a little teeny weeny like bit of snow, and then it stopped. And now it's cold. It was warm. We had one warm day, which wasn't that warm, maybe 50.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
nice day.
right, but compared to like 7, it's warm, I guess. But
Yeah.
now it's like it plummeted again. And then this morning we wake up and we have no heat. I
What
was
happened to the heat? Oh my gosh.
It was just it was some part. It was just
Okay.
something in we have a guy, and my husband, I said, Michael, you got to call him. So he calls him, and the guy's on vacation. And I'm like, you're not supposed to go on vacation in the winter. But his son was taking his call. So his son took care of it. His son came and fixed it for us. But
Yeah.
I was like, woo, Venus retrograde, right? Well, it was not quite retrograde. actually, it's almost. I wanted to see. Do you have it in your thing when she
I
goes?
do. I do. Venus retrograde at 6:36 p.m. my time, 7:36 p.m. your time. So in about like 10 minutes, and we gotta light something on fire, or just
This girl is on
see
fire.
something. Oh my
I,
goodness.
I said to Michael, I said, "How do I look?" Because last week I thought I looked a little, dowdy, but this week I want to be jazzy because of
Nice.
Venus, right? Venus and
Yeah.
Aries. And he goes, "You look like you're on fire." I'm like, and I sang the song, and I'm like, "That's because Venus is in Aries. Venus is on fire."
I have been every time Venus has some kind of movement, I start a project, I hem and haw. This retrograde's hard because I stretched a palette today or a canvas today. So I'm
Ooh.
ready for some good. It's a big piece. And it's like I don't know if I'm going to get anything done because then I want to move my furniture or try to drill into a concrete wall or something like it's just Venus retrograde is hard.
Yeah.
When she moves into signs that she likes, I get good results, but it was like new moon energy also, that the Friday night thing, like you get paid, you get your nails done, you go out to dinner, you can relax the weekend. That's Venus's day is Friday. So
Yes.
it didn't feel like that. It didn't smell like a Venus Friday yesterday.
Yeah, that's because she was probably slowing down to a trickle, to go backwards. Now she does the moonwalk, right? Going backwards.
Yeah. And it's hard sometimes when it's really windy to food, just to appreciate food because it smells like Indiana. Like the wind was coming from there. And I had the windows closed, but you could feel movement.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was watching the weather. I watch this. I don't know. It comes up on my YouTube feed, but it's like he shows all the millibars and everything, and he's like big winds, big winds, big winds, big winds, like wind everywhere, which I think is interesting. Which of course is going to be an issue with Pluto and Aquarius anyway for 20
Yes.
years. But
And
my
also aping our sentiments right now.
well, that's it.
The
That was
big wind made all the little winds really get together and push that, right?
mhm.
Come
Yeah,
here,
it's
come here, just get your thing.
it's the winds of change. They're blowing hard. They're blowing hard, boy.
That was intense day. And I got some video. There was no way I'd go down there. I'd never go back. I'd have to go down there. If I went down there, I'd have to safety pin an ID to my shirt. That's how like when you find me. Because it was really intense. I thought there was a boat in the water, but it was just crashing over this little horseshoe area by Montrose Harbor. And I'm like, is that a boat? What's going on? I'm like, wow. And I've never seen it like that. But I say that
You put it up on your channel, right? The wind. Did
I
you?
put that was the one picture in the video that you could see how
How crazy it was.
high it was. I did videos, but it's really boring because you're waiting for the next wave and it may not be as big, but it happened over there.
Yeah, it's like all the waves are metaphorical yet actual. Like it's like wave, there's this wave, there's that wave, there's this wave. And then of course we're gonna have these eclipses with the full moon and all this Pisces energy. There's gonna be plenty of water things
All
going on.
driven by the winds. All driven by the wind. Yeah.
Yes, the wind was brutal. Someone says the wind was brutal in New Jersey. It was been a brutal winter. It hasn't been. We had a little snow, which we have more snow than we've had in a while. But that wasn't it. The wind just never let up, just never let up. and you can't really walk in it. You can't really breathe in it. You,
Oh, I did a couple of videos walking giblets, New Moon Day, Thursday, and yesterday. And I got home and it was just like, it was nothing but wind noise. I'm like, well, I can't even, if I knew how to record over it, I don't even know what I would say because we were just, oh my God, it was so severe. It was so severe.
So yeah, so an interesting. I did a thing this morning on the Venus retrograde, like in the morning, because I was
Yeah,
out. You know how I walk through the garden in the morning,
yeah.
and I looked around. I'm like, this still just sticks. I think, and because of the Venus retrograde, I said, let me get on. You know, my hair is like 12 ways to Sunday because I pretty much just got out of bed. But I just want to read something here.
In a couple of weeks, you'll start to see the little crocus come up and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
Did it really?
no.
All right.
Wait. Almost. Wait. Michael gave me this in the office. And so we have a little hyacinth
Yes.
coming up.
Oh,
So we have
nice.
spring, even though
No,
it's not quite spring yet. It's coming though.
I think so.
It's
I was
coming.
going
Spring
to
is
ask
coming.
about, I keep dropping a card out of this deck, and it just thinking about Venus retrograde cycle. I get the Empress that fell on the floor.
There you
I'm like,
go. Venus,
what's going to occur with this Venus retrograde cycle? Because I think if somebody, I think there isn't anything that you should not be writing down about how you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
How and where you're holding it. Like I felt it yesterday all in my throat. It was all in my throat. Obviously, the real estate in my gut has been already taken up by enough stress. So it like moves around. Did it hurt your heart? Was it in your, did you hold your head? Did it get warm? Where are you storing it? Is important to check in on.
I when I watched that whole Zelensky thing, it just hurt my heart. I just was like, it just, yeah, it was just. I don't like to see anybody get bullied, and I don't, there was somebody who has given almost his whole beingness to his country, and these guys are just a bunch of mamalukes. They're just not. I don't know. It's
They
and,
look
and
like
they would talk
ridiculous.
to him like that,
Yeah.
and he had to sit there and take it because these guys hold all the, like Trump said, hold all the cards. We hold all the cards.
He, and he took it, but he also gave it back in a nice and,
Oh yeah.
when he
I
said,
mean,
when
I
did you
mean,
ever go to Ukraine, JD?
he made Vance, like Vance did a good enough job when he was in Europe to show people what an idiot he is.
Right.
But he just the thing is with Zelensky is, first of all, he's an actor, so he knows how to act. He can be boiling inside. You might not see it on the outside. You might feel it, be if you're
He
empathetic.
does hold himself like that. He does hold that solar plexus guarded. And
Right.
I think it's not part of just his body language. It's baseline. I think that's a base. I've always seen him do that, not just yesterday. But he was
Well, he does.
protecting
He is
himself.
neighbors with Vladimir Putin, and that's the thing. This is the thing that I got from that whole exchange, is when he said, "You got a nice ocean," he said, "but it's gonna," and then Trump got mad because it insinuated that, I think in part
Pay a price.
that he's that well that you're going to pay a price, but that he's afraid of
Right.
Putin.
Yeah. That's how low they set the bar to tease you into that dark, dark place. But you needed to see it. Just remember that this was something that needed to happen. so people can see this, and then
Yes.
turn it off. Put on the puppy show or something.
Goat videos, baby goats,
Baby goats.
baby goat videos.
I was out not Thursday. I think it was Friday. Was it Friday? No, that was yesterday, Wednesday. Right after Tuesday night's astrology thing, and some homeless guy, probably mid-20s, was trying to sell puppies out of a backpack on the street.
Oh.
And I'm like, I was walking towards them, and I said, "Oh, he had the big dog." I said, "Your dog looks like a lion." He goes, "The dog is the only reason I have a roof over my head, ma'am. I have 2 puppies in my backpack, and I need to sell them."
Wow.
He pulled out a puppy, little like pit bull puppy, not old enough to be sold and given away.
Right.
What am I going to do? He would not surrender him. Literally across the street from the vet. There's a vet, Wrigleyville vet is across the street. I said, "I can't help you, but hold on a second." I went into Whole Foods and got some dog food. He was gone when I got out. But it was not Thursday because I did not shop on Thursday. Did you shop on Thursday?
It was Friday. You couldn't shop. The 28th.
The 28th?
That was Friday.
Yeah. So.
That's okay, honey. They said you need food to buy food. Right?
No, it wasn't the day that I wasn't supposed to shop. I did not shop. I know
that was Friday.
Yeah,
we actually, my husband had made plans to get our tires done. Yeah. And I said to him, I said, "When did you make that appointment?" He's like, "Friday." I'm like, "No, you got see if they'll do it on Saturday." So I had him change the appointment. Yeah. Because we needed 4 new tires. We didn't get we have an old car, and you all you have to do is pass the safety after a certain time.
Right.
Just pass the safety. And I knew we needed tires. And I was saying, Michael, I think we really need to get tires. We really need to get tires. And then when we got it, to get re-upped, the registration, they said you need new tires. So he went and got those yesterday. So we'll have new tires for the summer.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but he bought them today.
I wasn't supposed to. I know that.
So we didn't spend any money on anything yesterday, and today we spent like $400 on tires and $200 to get our boiler fixed.
Well, it's the beginning of the month. Somebody needs to get paid.
Well, no, I certainly don't mind. I certainly don't mind. If you get a service but it's just like I didn't spend any money. It just
people were careful around here too. It was well advertised, and I think the local restaurants and stuff and dive bars or whatever were probably did okay. And I don't know if it made any kind of dent in any kind of algorithm. But I think if we keep it up, then, we're forced to conserve, what we have.
Yeah. Divergent Moon asked this question, as maybe somebody else can answer it. But I do know that there's an organization, I think it's UR. It's like yellow and black, I think. It was the one that was started by Einstein, and they do a lot of work in the Ukraine, and they do a lot of work in Gaza. So I think that's the United Rescue, or URC, I think it is. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Am I right?
I don't know, but there should be something well established by now that isn't scamming.
Yeah. And Zelensky doesn't need money. Zelensky's fine. Zelensky's a millionaire, but his country needs help. And so does like other country. Gaza needs help too. I mean, that is just. Oh, that was one of the other things that happened this week. That
That ad,
ridiculous, that
that,
ridiculous video that he put on Truth Social with
you
the
know,
children, the little Gaza children.
another thing to sort of like, we're not even talking about that stupid little commercial that is so ridiculous with
Yeah.
the gold stand. Oh my God. You know what? And this is what he did for a living. This is all he knows is real estate.
Right.
That's all he knows. And this is such a conflict of interest, all this stuff that he's doing. Why are they not impeaching him?
Because don't they need now? Somebody here probably knows. So, but because I don't know, but they need the Senate needs to the first of all the House needs to open the impeachment. I think this is how this works, and then the Senate is the one that votes on it. But the House is run by Johnson. They're not gonna go after him. They're not gonna do that. If we had the House, we could do that, and then the Senate would probably do what the Senate did the last time.
Yeah.
That's what happened, or the first two times, or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah. Because we shouldn't let it run amok. We need to start to stonewall some of these things that are inappropriate.
Well, I'm not surprised at it because if he says that was, I think, always that was his dream with, now they're taking over. I think they want to take over the Golan Heights, and they're moving into Syria, which I think the Golan Heights might be in Syria or is it Lebanon? I apologize for not knowing that. Really, I don't study that, so I don't know it. I know astrology. You can
And
ask me that
the
question.
land grab thing is real for
Yeah,
sure.
and the West Bank, they're bulldozing. They want it all.
Yeah.
They want it all. The Netanyahu government wants it all.
More worried about what we can do. Like, our safety net hospitals are struggling. If Medicaid there's a protest right now at Humble Health. That hospital will shut down.
The people who are gonna, we're all gonna suffer for it.
It's gonna get
But
bad.
the people in rural places, as it is, they're underserved. As it is, they're
Very much
underserved.
so.
Forget about gynecological care. If you can lose your license and go to jail for giving a woman an abortion pill, why would you want to practice there?
Yeah. Well, you can't have the volume of people who need care using the emergency room as a doctor's office.
That's what's going to end up happening.
And it's going to get really bad.
Right. And so when you're having your heart attack, Mr. MAGA hat,
We'll see.
we'll see how fast they get you in. And a lot of those people are on Medicaid anyway. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I pulled 5 cards on this upcoming Venus retrograde cycle. Just in general, I guess we could even, consider. So the first card I got was the 9 of Swords, which is anxiety.
Yeah, that's
okay. Stress and anxiety, nightmares, right? So we're all kind of in the midst of the nightmare, as it were. Right? We visualized a dream and we got a nightmare. It's so weird. It just like switched. But obviously, I think this just makes everything happen faster because it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? The shift is happening. The shift is the plan, as they say.
Maybe Venus is that 9 of Swords?
9 of Swords, yeah.
That's her, like, I know that the planetary alignment is at 9, but she's kind of like sort of not liking that she's not in the spotlight there, or
I would just, the nines are all associated with the moon, right? So we're feeling, it's like we're getting stabbed over and over again by these anxiety producing chaos producing
It's
energy.
on purpose. Yeah.
Of course it's on purpose. It's, what is that? The sweep? The something sweep? The Notre Dame sweep? No, that's not what it's called. Cincinnati? No, it's not Cincinnati. It's the
Shock
Lombardi.
doctrine.
What?
The shock doctrine.
Yeah, well, there's the Chase. That, yes, absolutely.
It's
So
shock doctrine.
the next card I get was the Two of Wands, which
Okay.
says to me that you need to come together. This is an opportunity for us to come together to foster like a single vision or a single idea of some sort. Then I got the Nine of Wands, which is putting up your boundaries, having healthy and safe boundaries. There's 2 nines so far. We had the Nine of Swords,
Yeah.
Nine of Wands, right? Then I get the Hierophant, which is listening to your inner voice. It can be government. Um, it is a Taurus card. This is a Taurus card, and Venus is a Venus, it rules Taurus. So we have to listen instead of listening to the outside voices, you want to listen to your own inner voice. It's very important this month. And then the last card was the Fool. So that's really we're going to be in a whole new place. So this Venus retrograde cycle is going to be angst producing. But if you can get together and share a common vision with other people, hold healthy boundaries, stand up for what you believe in. I think the government is actually, I almost feel like the government's going to hold in some way with this card. Now, I don't know why that is. And then we have a whole new way, a whole new Fool. And when I did cards for March, I think, for the United States, and the last card was the Six of Wands. No, the Six of Swords, one of the last cards, and it looked just like Elon Musk and little X going over the water. Bye-bye. So we'll see. I don't know.
Oh boy.
What did you get?
That's kind of interesting because I got 2 nines also. The retrograde cycle. Five of Wands.
Okay.
Coming in with a struggle for sure. You got the 9 of Swords and 5 of Wands. Like it's kind of there's a fight, right?
It certainly is.
On there. Then alchemy, which is temperance.
Yeah, healing. Wonderful.
You're going to be able to see her out there in the sky. Okay. Ask her for patience. 9 of fire. Your 9 of Wands.
Yep.
9 of Wands. Is that coming up soon? Because I'm going to look that up. And then 9 of water.
Oh. Yeah, a lot of nines. Well, we're in a 9 year. Okay. So did we get all the nines? No, we didn't get the 9 of Pentacles.
No.
Okay. So that's the only 9 we didn't get. We're in a 9 year, and we have to also keep that in mind as these things happen, is the 9 indicates that something is coming to an end. And
Thursday the 6th is an 18/9 day. That's interesting. Yeah, there's something in that number that is not just Pepto-Bismol pink, but it's definitely something to watch out for. Interesting. Yes. Wow.
All right, let's see.
The Pope is going through a lot of health issues. Hierophant is pointing to that chaos. Yeah, I hope that they can give him a little bit more dignity and not tell us every single symptom that's going on right now and focus on, his care.
Yeah, he has some astrological things in his chart that indicate that this is a natural leaving time. So chances are he's going to leave. The question is when. And that might be the whole part of the whole eclipse picture.
And it's Ash Wednesday on Wednesday, and then Easter's coming up. I mean, it's starting the lentil season, so
right.
I'm
Would it
sure
be
he'll fit timing in there very nicely.
um when is Easter? Is Easter and you don't yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know.
Um
I don't know.
the nuns would be appalled that I don't know that, but most of them are in spirit now, so they know that half that stuff is just stuff, and that the real stuff, what matters, is happening. The real love, the real love. Yeah, I like this Pope. He's been my favorite Pope, and it's really sad, but he's worked really hard. Um, he's been working very hard to bring some light into a very dark place. And I think he has done a lot for that, but I think he's old and tired now, and he wants to go back to
Yeah.
a more peaceful existence.
Sunday, April 20th is Easter Sunday. So I don't know if he's going to make it that long. I have to say, until we get a pope that meets my expectations, I don't even pay attention anymore. And that would be including women into roles in the church that they would be good at and not deviant at and deserve.
Well, there should be equality. If men can become priests, then women should become priestesses. They're going to do the same thing. They're just going to, that's there just needs to be equality.
See, one piece of the church, everybody else has women ministers. What's wrong with that? Why is that a problem? And until that happens, I really don't pay attention to the Catholic Church's shenanigans going on. I don't. They gave me enough to remember.
Hopefully the old ways are coming to it. Well, yes, they are. But some of those old ways are things that we're used to having. So it's all good, it's
Even though when old ways come to an end and we appreciate that, we will complain about the same pothole in the road and bitch about it. And then when they go to fix it, it's traffic is even
and everybody's bitching about the traffic.
I think you're bitching about the traffic. So, the period of time that it takes to forgive the in between and then kind of pick up on what's going to happen is really hard. And right now it seems like we're not going in a good direction. But
Laura, thank you. Green Bay sweep. Yeah, I had the Lombardi. I had the right coach. I just didn't have the right language. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. Let's see. I like Pope Francis. Yeah, me too, Steph. Me too. He is so compassionate. Yep. He's compassionate, and he's the most Christ-like of the popes in my lifetime that I've experienced. When he came in, he didn't want to wear all the regalia. He would just wear simple clothes. And he's a Jesuit. See, he's a Jesuit, and the Jesuits are cool. Like, if I'm gonna put my money on a Catholic order, I'd put my money on any of the nun orders, because the nuns are all cool, and the Jesuits.
Was he the one that put washing machines for homeless people? He would sneak out at night and feed the homeless. Is that the same Pope?
Probably.
Okay,
yeah.
well, that's okay. That's cool.
No, he came from
I like that.
he came from South America, right? And they had, they were more like leftist. He was sort of leftist leaning Pope, and there was a lot of he got a lot of pushback, because there's that Opus Dei group there too, and that's really kind of what in the United States is strong. That what's his name, JD, him and Barr, they're all those Opus Dei, and Kavanaugh and Alito, they're all like super duper Catholic people. The thing they were worried that Kennedy was going to make America too Catholic. Now we're being run by by Catholic fundamentalists.
Yeah, that's that's kind of a joke though, because it isn't even, you know, I feel like we could supplement some of the wrongdoing in the church by having women move into some of those male traditional roles, because you know, the priest scandal is never going to recover itself
Well, they
until
should
they
allow
actually
priests to
get it.
marry so they can have a
Same.
natural expression of their sexuality instead of, and it
Yep.
doesn't help that they're God, really, like I grew up in a very Catholic neighborhood and, with very Catholic people. The thing about growing up as an Italian is that the Italians don't trust the church. So they don't give their kids away to the church the way like the Irish did. And so while there was abuse, it wasn't like as bad as it was with the Irish, because the Irish were like, the best thing you could be was have your son a priest. That was like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but
Oh my.
yeah, it's a complex world. It's a complex world. So we're just about at the end of our hour, Ona. Is there anything going on with you? Anything you want to share?
Not really. Not really.
Tomorrow we're going to have time out with Jibs.
Yeah, in the morning we'll have giblets, 10-hour giblets a week to pick our weekly card and kind of figure out what's going on during the week and see what else is happening. Trying to do some art stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I've been trying to convince Ona to share how she does her art in videos. So if you guys want to like harass her, feel free. Uh
It's hard because I have to move the camera and pause it. I've been taking pictures. I was going to do a series. I'll grab one. Let me grab one here. Well, it's the only one I did. Like mats,
I want her to show more of her art.
and we'll see more mats for like dog bowls or cat bowls, and I could put like a dog picture in there or a cat
Wow.
picture. And this was just scraps that I had cut out. I have a pile of stuff that I need to scraps of shapes and stuff. But this binding is not leather. It's like vinyl crap shit, right? And it's 2 yards for one piece, which would be about $4.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just not worth what I can get for them. But they don't take up a lot of space in the store, and I thought that would be kind of a cute idea. Giblets has one
I'm not surprised. I'm
for
not
your
surprised.
dog bowls or your cat bowls and waterproof. So
So I just want to. I have for my Kabbalah people out there who have taken my introduction. I'm having a second class, climbing the tree of life, working more with the Kabbalah and the system that I use. That's going to start on the 20th of on spring equinox, which will be Thursday. It's a 6-week class, and it's going to be on consecutive Thursdays. And then I also have a membership. You get a membership on my channel now if you're so interested in that. I have two levels, and it's just I can speak a little bit more freely, and I can have a little bit more of a personal relationship with some of my people. But I'm still going to do everything that I do otherwise. Moon shadows, moonshine with Ona, Mystic Sisters Live, and we're going to figure out how we can do this and have it come from both of our channels, so you guys don't have to remember like what night Mystic Sisters on whose channel, because I couldn't even remember this week. I actually had to ask Ona in one
it's
of my videos.
it's normal. It's normal when you're overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff to forget like your dog's name.
Oh
You
God.
know, that's how you start to compartmentalize trauma.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good point. And we can maybe end on this point, is that if you're noticing that you're forgetting things, don't get nervous about that.
Yeah.
Don't get nervous about that, because we're in a time where it almost feels like the time is like past, future, and everything is sort of like doing this. That's what it feels like to me. It's like, I don't know, God being a mime or something, but
Yeah.
be gentle on yourselves, and self-care, self-care, self-care. Watch, when you're out there, make sure you're hydrating, especially in the winter, because if we, in the winter, sometimes you don't drink enough water because you're not sweating, so you're not thirsty. But it's very
true.
important, especially because the air is so dry, that
Ugh.
you hydrate yourself. And just, boost your immune system. Do things that help to boost your immune system, including laughing and having a good time and being creative. The world's falling apart, but it's falling apart so we can put it back together, but more in alignment with what we understand about ourselves, and the power and the potential that we have if we just work together. So don't lose heart, guys. It's going to be a wild
Yeah.
it's going to be a wild year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's put it that way. So pace yourself on the wildness.
Definitely. We'll see y'all in the morning.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We love you, and take care of yourselves. All right.